Hello, my people. So today we have some things going. So, but before I start, let me remind you, please, to subscribe to our channel. Click on that notification bell if you've not done so already, so that whenever we come on live or we have some uh, new materials for you, then you'll be the first to know. So the notification bell is very important for that. And please, if you have not subscribed, please click on the subscribe button and please help us to share our videos as well and like, so as to encourage us, to do what we do and to bring you more news update. So we don't only talk about politics here, we talk about politics, entertainment, and every other thing that have to do with our country, Nigeria, because as you know, there's a lot of things going on in Nigeria, so we need help, and it's only us that can actually help ourselves, and that help will not come from any other place. So stop wishing that his help is going to come from east, west, north, south, you know. So help starts with you. So that is why we do what we do by enlightening our people to opening their eyes. So very soon again with some other new updates. But today, let me go straight to the point. Here you see this Chinese man, but that was called by the EFCC. He was arrested in 2020, of course. So, but this case has been on ever since. I've been dragging on. So just imagine a common Chinese person coming to a place like Nigeria, and if you have to check this man well, actually, you find out that he don't even have a resident permit, but yet he have the gut to be doing businesses in Nigeria and even employ citizens to the extent that when he was caught, he wanted to but the EFCC officials that came to investigate or to arrest him as at that time, or even when he was already arrested. So with 50 million naira cash, I mean cash, 50 million naira cash. Just imagine that. So, most of the time I always say it on my videos that sometimes these people have to actually be put in check because the things that are happening to our country sometimes we either partially contributed, to the way that Nigeria is, or to the way that Africa is right now, or that we are, you know, let's say fully engaged, with the foreigner in defrauding Nigeria as a country. So, but here anyway, said the appeal court convicts Chinese citizens for attempting to bribe EFCC official with 50 million naira cash. The Chinese men were accused of attempting to bribe an official of the EFCC with 50 million naira to compromise an ongoing investigation into a Chinese firm. So, for them to have been given 50 million naira, offering 50 million naira, that's to show you that at least maybe that thing that they are being investigated for, is worth over 500 million naira, or even a billion naira, or 5 billion naira, and stuff like that, before they can root out 50 million naira cash. So, because that's what I said in one of my last videos, on how these people compromise the customs and things like that, to smuggle money out of the country in cash. If I were to be a custom officer, common sense will show me that if somebody is offering me $1,000, for example, to inspect his baggage, then that will show me that that baggage will have a content of at least $100,000 or more. It's as simple as that. So, you can't just be at the checkpoint and somebody is coming there to just hand you some token just because they don't want you to do your job. So what the hell is going on? So it's like, oh, I'm in a hurry. Please, don't waste my time. Take this one for the boys. And I say, hey, stop there. That would be my action. That would be my reaction. You know. I won't even look. I mean, look at his face and stuff like that. Especially if you are someone who has traveled before. I think most of these people actually they really need some new orientation, and that part of the orientation should be to to send them out. Travel. They should travel out. Live like common citizens and stuff like that. Go to other countries and see how those customs and those immigrations do their work at the point of entries in those countries. You know, even if it doesn't happen to them, let them ask the other colleagues, etc. Of their experiences as soon as they get to their locations and stuff. So at the time they narrate all this whole thing, then maybe they'll be able to, learn from that, to know that, no matter who you are, you don't really give a damn. Because I remember there was a time that Wole Soyinka himself, he traveled out of the country. I think he went to America. I'm not forgetting that Wole Soyinka was even an American citizen back then. So we went to America. He was scrutinized, to the extent that he was so angry when he came back home. So when they were asking, when this pressman came to him at the airport and we asking him what, and what he went out to do. So he explained to them and he told them also about his experience that he got as an African, as well as a black man, or as a Nigerian, you know. So he was not happy with the whole thing. So I don't think he was just saying that for nothing. He was saying this so that the immigrations and other officials will also know that a man of his own caliber, as at that time, was scrutinized to the extent that he was stripped barely naked, you know, simply because he was holding a, yeah, I don't know whether it was the Nigerian passport he was holding or because, he was a black man. So that is it. Because first of all, the common man or the common immigration man or the common custom, that is standing at the port of entry in America, don't even know who somebody like Wale Soyinka was, and they don't even care. So the same attitude should be applied when Nigeria custom officials or what do you call them, immigration officials, should be at the airport and they see one foreigner coming in. It shouldn't be their business to care, you know, if that person is holding an American passport, or is holding a British passport, or whatever passport that person is holding, or holding a Chinese passport. The first thing is for you to do your job and do it thoroughly. But the thing they always do is that they don't even check these foreigners so much in Nigeria. Then the people they even check are the citizens themselves. They scrutinize the citizens themselves. If you are coming from abroad now, you are coming home, you are holding a Nigerian passport, they will scrutinize you the more. Instead of them to focus more on the foreigners, they will focus more on the Nigerians who are coming in. It's only when they find anything on you before they start to ask you for a handout. You know? So just imagine all of this. So that's it. So let's go straight to the point again. Said the convict, Meg Wayne. He said the court of appeal in Sokoto State, has convicted two Chinese nationals of money laundering involving an attempt to bribe an investigative officer with 50 million naira cash. Man, I give that man hand, that officer hand, because it's not common these days to find a Nigerian like that. Because he said an officer, which means it's a one-man officer. He was trying to bet at least he have a team. Let's say maybe the head of the team. So the convict Megwayne Kun and Su Kuwai got away with only 3 years imprisonment, with an option of a cumulative 20 million naira fine on the two counts they were convicted of. Just imagine that. So the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, accused them of attempting to bribe its official with 50 million naira cash to compromise an ongoing criminal investigations on the Chinese firm. According to a statement by the EFCC on Friday, the Chinese men gave the 50 million naira cash to the zonal head, I said it, of the agency in Sokoto, Abdullahi Lawa, in May 2011. 2011? Or in May 2021? It's 2021, of course, to compromise an ongoing criminal investigation of China Zhongao Nigeria Limited. So the money under Nigerian money laundering, prohibited law exceeded the 5 million naira cash threshold an individual is allowed to transact with. So the EFCC said in a statement that the Federal High Court in Sokoto had initially discharged and acquitted the two Chinese nationals of all three charges preferred against them. But the panel of justices of the Court of Appeal in Sokoto overturned the acquittal on Friday, delivering the lead judgment of the appellant court. A member of the appeal of the panel, Abubakar Talba, described the Federal High Court's decision that acquitted the Chinese man as fictions. So Mr. Talba said, in their home country, the Chinese men would have got the death penalty for the same offenses. The judge noted that the respondents are Chinese, and an offense of this gravity in their home country attracts the death penalty. Yet, here, they are corrupting our country. Now, wow. So the court of the Federal Republic of Nigeria will not condone corruption in any way, as President Muhammad Buhari has said. If we don't kill corruption, corruption will kill Nigeria. Mr. Taba added. The judge went on to sentence the Chinese man to 3 years imprisonment on 2 counts of conspiracy to commit money laundering and money laundering. The court acquitted convicts on the 3rd count. The EFCC said the court then sentenced the Chinese nationals to 3 years on each of the 2 counts. They were found guilty of with an option of 10 million naira fine on each. Yeah, but to me, I think being Chinese, actually, and the conviction they got is a little bit too light, because these are the same people that were able to cough out 50 million naira cash, which is 25 million, on their own part, and now you are giving them 20 million naira, fine and stuff. So, but first of all, you have to seize that money, that they use in bribing, because these people are capable of maybe buying out, their freedom at any point in time, because they look like real mafias. So, but what I don't understand is that now when you look at the two pictures, they look similar because they were allowed to wear, this mask. So how can you be convicting a people or putting people on the spotlight like this, and yet you allow them to wear a disguise? How will you ever know if these people are not if they are living, if they are your next door neighbors and things like that? How will you know? If they are not. So I think they shouldn't be allowed to wear that this thing, even if they were allowed, as the original picture shows here. Then after the conviction, at least supposed to show their pictures, show their faces, so that we know who they are, because these guys are criminals. So I don't think they are doing it. So you're supposed to check the tax office and see what tax they've been able to pay ever since they've been in that country. Check their records and see if they've even paid a dime before. So the so-called Chinese company that were being investigated, maybe these people are just mere figurehead of those companies. So the other people that are really, the rules and the branches, and every other thing that hold that company family, maybe they are still in operation now under a different name altogether. So they can incorporate a very new company, And before you know it, they can even call it Nigeria, Nigeria, Indo-China or China want have you or Asiatic company, you know, then you never know. So, but the point is, Nigeria police and officials and that are working with these government agencies, they should actually really take this thing seriously because the way these foreign nationals have taken Nigeria for granted, it's really painful. Because when you go out of Nigeria, then you really know how painful it is. Because we should not be thinking that nobody loves Nigeria, nobody loves us more than us. It's as simple as that. Don't think one foreigner will come to Nigeria love you more than Nigeria. Nobody like that. The Americans don't love Nigeria more than Nigerians. The British don't love Nigeria more than Nigerians. Neither all Europeans love Nigeria more than Nigerians. So talk less of Chinese. Why will the China man leave his hometown or his own country and come to Nigeria? What do you think he's there for? To help you for anything? No, it's to exploit you. If you lose guard with one little this thing, then of course they take charge. So if you show some complex, the same thing, they take charge. You know, they can take anything, even the human resources, if they can take it. So because a lot of bullshit do happen in China, and yet, you know, you think if they have the chance to come to Nigeria or Africa to do that, they won't do it. So they are all over Africa, scavenging, looking for prey. So don't be a victim of these Chinese and stuff. So, but the most painful thing is when the government become a victim of this whole thing. But when an individual become a victim, then the government is supposed to come in there and and defend those people. But when the government itself is even vulnerable to this same attack, then it calls for concern, the greater concern. So because people like Buhari or all these some top government officials, they have no idea what it's like, you know, to be outside or how they are being perceived outside. The only thing they know is that when they see these people in Nigeria and these people see them, in the authority, in the power, in the place of authority, these people seem to come and bow to them and greet them with all kinds of humility and stuff like that. Then you think that's how they see. No, they don't see you. They don't see you as anything. They just do that just to, you know, get some favor from you, in whatever way, because they see that you are the man with the power. So, but if you just put that suit down today, or you put that, that's your robe that you are wearing today, robe of leadership, and you just disguise and just, walk on the street of China like an ordinary, Nigerian, and what have you, then you get the real side of the real China man. I'm talking about just the ordinary street China man. I'm not even talking about the man at the official level to start with. So you people should stop disgracing us and stop putting our country down. We are just too much to be rubbished. We are not supposed to be in any category with countries like that. We're supposed to be at least in a higher category that we have to be valued and be respected and be honored. So that when you come out with your green passport, anywhere you go to, and to any point of entry or point of entry, then you'll be accorded that they deserve. It's not all Americans that are rich, but at least they know that America as a country is a country that stands on principles. You know that the America itself is a very rich, economy. So even if you are a poor American citizen and you have an American passport and you go to any point of entry, they will accord you that respect. First thing first, before any other thing. Then before they start to ask you where are you going and if you have the money that is required for you to sustain yourself, which is BTA, etc., etc., etc. So, but unlike that, most African countries, you go with an African passport, they look at it. Oh, which country is this one? You say, oh, Africa. Oh, Africa. Then you've already gotten an idea of how to treat you, of how you're supposed to be treated, because you're an African. So then for that. Then they start to treat you the way they want to treat you and misuse or and abuse, you know, all kinds of privileges that you're supposed to have, you know. They might even strip them from you without you having any more say, you know. So that is it. So the passport is supposed to be a very powerful tool that will enable you to move around freely, you know, within the Committee of Nations, especially when you are crime free, you know, when you don't have anything to hide. So, but in most cases now, you see an African man holding an African passport and you get to port of entry. Because I do watch some of this thing on television sometimes and I wonder, you know, they get there and they ask him, where are you going? And he tells them where he's going. Do you have enough cash? He said you have enough cash. Then he's able to prove it. Then they say, yes, we are still suspecting that he have something to hide because of, the guy is kind of nervous and things like that. They start to scrutinize and scrutinize and scrutinize and scrutinize. Sometimes, maybe they find something, but sometimes, most times, they don't find anything. And yet they still deprive that person, you know, of his right of going to that country. Just imagine that, you know. Somebody we strive and save money, and maybe it's an ordinary civil servant, and his dream has just been just to travel out of Nigeria, maybe to travel to Europe or to travel to America. Then you get to the point of entry, then now you deny him of entry simply because he did not, you know, meet the kind of standard that you expect him to meet, either because you think he's nervous or because you think he's jittery or because he couldn't answer the question, correctly and stuff like that. Does that really make sense? It doesn't make sense. But if you were to be an American citizen or any other Disney citizen, first of all, you are crime free, you don't have any criminal record on you, you don't have anything on you, and stuff like that. And even if even if you say you want to stay for a week, for example, and you have, let's say, 300 euros, you know, in a place like America, I have 300 euros, I want to go in there and say that I have 300 euros. You ask me, how long do you want to stay? Maybe I have my ticket is about, let's say, 1 month. I said, maybe a week. Yes, it's maybe. Because maybe if I like it, so long my visa is still valid, I might just make one little call and I get, you know, another money. So, but they might use that one just to disqualify you for coming in, either by saying they don't have enough money, to sustain you because your visa is, up to a year and stuff. I mean, up to a month, you know, etc., etc. So, but that is it. That is true life. So, but what I'm saying is that the Chinese should be an example, but this thing should be done well and properly to also dissuade most of these kind of things that are happening because these ones that they just flash us right now, it might just be another cover up for another bigger thing that's out there. That's the point. So you Nigeria custom and Nigeria officials, you better wake up, and do your thing and do it rightly. Stop all these complex issues, that's ongoing within your establishment and course. Because even your so-called gas and all, they all have this complex. When they see a fair-skinned person coming from another country, they always feel like they are better off. Most of these people, if you see their living conditions in their own country, you feel sorry for them. A jugular cannot be compared to how they live in their own country. First of all, some of them don't even have you know the green or the greenery to plant food and stuff like that. So the kind of food they eat, you'll be surprised. So we that really have everything, I think we should really wake up and start doing things for ourselves. So we should stop hoping on all this help coming from from where it's not actually coming from. So the help is within us. We can help ourselves a great deal. So that's the point. So the point is value your country, protect your country, and don't give a damn about all these so-called foreigners who are coming there to exploit and destroy Nigeria economically, socially, and what have you. They have nothing to contribute to our growth. Nothing. They are only coming there to take. They are coming there to take, and they will take and take and take as long as they can take. They will continue to take. So, and they'll be taking from us all this while. So I think it's high time we put a stop to that. Whether Chinese, Indonesia, India, or America, British, and what have you. No, because our people who are living in those countries of theirs, they are contributing to the economy, and they are doing a lot. All they just ask is sometimes they want the ordinary resident permit for them to be able to do what they do, to do it well, and yet they are not able to get it. So, but these people, they come to our countries without anything. 5 years from now, then they become somebody. They start to kick everybody around and stuff. They have companies, they refuse to pay their staffs. Some of them, they lock in their staffs into their company, like the other ones that happened in the State the other time, etc. So you see, so but the people that are empowering these people also are some politicians, either the governors and stuff. So they give them their own bribe and they say, oh, go ahead and do anything, no problem. So and if you challenge them, they call the police or the police commissioner. They come and start dealing with you in your own country. That's on this so hard of. So people arise, wake up, wake up and act. So stop all this complex issue. That's it. So that's the only way we can discourage this whole thing from happening over and over again. So give us a thumbs up, please. Subscribe to our channel if you've not, and share our videos and drop us a